Welcome back to the Corporate Sister TV. I'm Solange Lopes and I'm the founder of the Corporate Sister website and brand. In today's video, I am discussing 3 common traps of a flexible schedule for busy working mothers. If you're a working mom, you may already be working on a flexible schedule, or if you're not already using more flexibility in your schedule, you may be aspiring to it. And the reality is, having a flexible schedule as a busy working mom is a gift. It allows you to be able to structure your own time instead of being confined to a rigid allocation of your time that doesn't give you much latitude and much leeway when it comes to handling the various demands on your time, productivity, and energy. However, although it is a much appreciated gift for most working mothers, a flexible schedule can also quickly turn into a curse if not managed well. I've had to discover it at my own expense, and I've had to learn the hard way the best and most efficient ways to manage a flexible schedule so that it remains a blessing and doesn't turn into a monster of a curse. Here are the 3 most common traps to expect when you have a flexible schedule. The first one is overcommit much. That's the temptation of overcommitting yourself and saying yes to just about every and any demand or request that comes your way, because you may be under the impression that because you have more of a flexible schedule, you have more time, which is a very common misconception. Having a flexible schedule does not mean having more time. As a matter of fact, having a flexible schedule puts on you the obligation to be even stricter with how you structure your time and allocate time to the various tasks and demands on you, from being a professional to being a mother to being a wife to being in the various relationships with the various responsibilities that you may have in your own life. So this tendency to overcommit ourselves is so common, especially for us as working moms and as women in general, who tend to have more of a nurturing and giving nature and tend to want to just help others. So what do you do about avoiding to overcommit yourself when you have a flexible schedule? Well, simply put, just give yourself some extra time to think about it. Whenever a request on your time or an additional demand on your time or an additional task comes across your desk or just comes at you, give yourself the gift of time before you get back to the person who is extending this additional requirement on your time. It could be as simple as saying something like, "Can I get back to you in a little bit so I have time to consult my schedule?" This gives you that extra time and that extra freedom to go back to your schedule and to realistically look at what's on your plate for the day, for the week, or the month, and really assess whether you can fit this additional thing in or whether it's going to have to be a big no-no. So that's trap number 1. Trap number 2 is blurring the personal with the professional. And it is so easy to do. Working from home, on a flexible schedule, on the kitchen table, right next to the sink full of dishes. And the temptation is to multitask around the clock. Wash the dishes, put a load of laundry, answer an email. And although it may sound efficient at first, the result is that it translates into lack of focus, lack of efficiency, lack of productivity, and ultimately it makes for a very stressful day. I've again learned this at my own expense. So blurring the personal and the professional as a working mother, when you have a flexible schedule, can actually be more costly than it could be effective and beneficial to you. So what can you do about it? Set for yourself a separate area and a separate time for work and a separate area and time for your personal responsibilities. Is that easy to do? Certainly not, especially if you have kids in the house. But as much as possible, try to have a delineated area for work and a delineated time for work, as well as a delineated space to do what it is that you need to do in every area of your work and life. That can be challenging. However, it can allow you to focus more, and it can allow you to be more productive and efficient, which translates into cost savings in the long run and time savings as well, and saves you a lot of frustration as well. That was trap number 2. And trap number 3, last but not least, it is not setting clear boundaries between your work and your life. If you've been working from home during the pandemic, you may have found yourself on your computer at 11:30 at night, also trying to catch the last episode of your favorite series on Netflix after putting the kids to bed. Just because after the crisis that we've gone through and that we're still going through a little bit with the pandemic, the lines between the professional and the personal have been seriously blurred, and we've been forgetting to set boundaries between our work and our life. And when you have a flexible schedule, it's so easy to do. So much so that your work permeates into your life and your life permeates into your work. Again, what does that produce? A whole lot of frustration, a whole lot of extra work, and just an overall lack of balance in your life. So what can you do about it? Set clear priorities and boundaries between your work and life. This is also what I call setting sacred areas in your work and in your life. What's sacred to you at home? It may be spending time with your family at dinner time, or it may be setting aside some time to have a walk in the middle of the day. Those are the sacred things that keep you going. What are the sacred areas and things that keep you going at work? It may be a certain quiet time to write or to create a certain project. Define what those sacred areas are and delineate them separately from any other area in your personal and professional life. Setting those boundaries and maintaining them can be quite challenging, but again, it'll translate into significant cost and time savings and save you a lot of frustration in the process. So these are the 3 traps of a flexible schedule for busy working mothers that I wanted to share with you. I'm curious to see if you've experienced them or if you experienced additional traps that you'd like to share with us. Please email us at corporate@thecorporatesister.com and let's continue the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.